Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the Mama June Road Redemption recap. This past week's episode, it was a wild one, and honestly, there were some things I had to say afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like after I watched the episode, I was like, "Urgh." I was like irritated with June, because basically she was like, I'd rather put her up for adoption than give you child support. When we know the amount of money that June literally spends on these men, had me fuming. Then, we find out this is the episode that we find out that she's having twins. It's the episode that she finds out she's having twins. And also Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear signed over rights as well, and he showed more emotion in signing over his rights than June did. Which was really it was really wild to see him. He said, Alana's all that I got. So to see him tear up kind of made me sad. And he even said, I appreciate them for everything that they do. We still have yet to see that out of, we don't see, is your name Stank Energy? I like your name, Stank Energy. Um, but we don't see that out of June. We don't see June, praising Pumpkin and Josh for what they do. So anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to do the recap, and then we are going to we're going to do the recap, and then we are going to just talk about the episode because I got a lot to say. Okay, the episode starts off with them coming right back from Vegas. Well, they're about to come back from Vegas. So Pumpkin and Jessica are on their way back from Vegas. Remember, Pumpkin has spilled the beans to June and Jessica that she is pregnant, but allegedly, from what the show is portraying, Alana doesn't know. Draylon doesn't know. Dodo doesn't know that she's pregnant. So on the episode, it starts off that they're on their way back, Pumpkin and Jessica, and Alana is planning a baby shower. And not because Pumpkin's pregnant, but because June signed the paperwork for Alana and Josh to get custody of Alana. So she says she said it's a baby shower, but it should have been a babe shower, because I'm a babe. That's what Alana says. She said it should have been a babe shower because I'm a babe. So this shower was not, this shower was not because she's pregnant, but because she got June to sign over custody of Alana. So Alana's putting on this whole, decorating, and they got a cake that says, "Congratulations, Mama Pumpkin," and it was really cute, and Pumpkin had no idea. Dodo shows up, and here's Alana and Draylon when Dodo walks in the door. I showed you guys, like, literally, on last week's episode, you guys, when we done the recap, out of that whole hour and, 20 minutes that we were live, I showed 48 seconds of clips out of 4 different clips, and WeTv flagged my video. So I'm disputing it because it falls under fair use. So I am disputing it, but until I find out what they're going to do, I'm not going to play any bits of the show. I'm just going to, we'll go through pictures. But this is them, getting ready for the little party. They had a whole babe shower. Dodo comes. Look at Dodo with her chompers. Her good old teeth. I need me some teeth like Dodo's. And she's just telling Dodo and everybody, like, she's happy that, June signed the paperwork and that it wasn't a big deal. At one point, Josh walks in and he's like, well, what about Papa Josh? He's like, what about Daddy Josh? And she's like, oh, Josh, I'm only doing this because Pumpkin's out of town. She's coming back, so I want to do it. He's like, I know. He's like, it's okay, honey. And I love the way he talked to her. He's like, I know. It's okay, honey. Just like a dad would talk to, their kid. He's like, I know, honey. It's good. So let me see if I can actually get to the clip of where they come in. So here they are. They are getting out of the Uber, coming back home, and they have no idea, apparently, that Alana's throwing this little babe shower. So they are pretty surprised. And look at that, you guys. Look at that. Oh, look at Josh over there. Well, you guys can't see him. Hold on. Let me move this. When Pumpkin walks in and they're like, surprise, it's a girl. She's like, what? And Alana's like, you got a girl. It's a girl. I'm a girl, and they explain what the reason for the party is. It's a babe shower because she got June to sign over custody. And she hugs Alana and she's like, I'm so excited. And Josh is like, I don't know what that face is for. Um, so she just tells them how the trip went. She was like, the trip was good. She was like, I spilled the. Oh, and she tells Alana, she's like, I got a secret to tell you. Josh hasn't told you yet, right? And Alana's like, told me what? And she said, well, we're going to have another baby because I'm pregnant. And Alana's like, wait, you're pregnant? And she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Um, Alana's like, yeah, no, Josh didn't tell me. And she says, does mama know? Does mama know that you're pregnant? And she said, well, I kind of had to spill the beans to mama while we were in Vegas because mama kept pressuring me and Jessica to drink. So, yeah, mama knows. And she said, well, how did everything go with getting mama to sign the papers? And she goes, oh my gosh, like I stressed out about it so much, but it was kind of easy peasy because I gave her the paperwork. She signed the paperwork. And then afterwards, mama said, this is what you were stressing out about? You were stressing out about asking me to sign the paperwork? And she was like, why were you stressing out about it? And everybody was like, who wouldn't stress out about it? But that's what June said. June was like, you were stressing out about asking me to sign the paperwork? And they were all like, because it's a big deal, because it's a big deal. Um, but yeah, clearly it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to June because she was like, this is why you were stressing out. You didn't have to stress out over this. Hold on, you guys. Vacation in your own backyard and save on an in-ground pool from okay. Gotta check my mirror. My nose was feeling a little funny. Okay, I don't want to be up on here with no boogers, but sometimes my nose ring will make me feel like I have a booger if it leans down. Like, right. Anyways, I'm sure y'all don't want to hear about that. So, anyways, they asked Ella. They have Ella in a little confessional, and they was like, "Do you want another brother or sister?" And she goes, "No." And they said, "Why not?" She says, "Cause I'm the boss." She goes, "No, I'm the boss," which was really funny. Ella literally is like the new. Here it is the new Honey Boo Boo. Like she could have her own. Ugh. I'm gonna play it really quickly. Hopefully they don't. Look, she's like, no. She goes, I'm the boss. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love Ella. She's literally the cutest. So anyways, they enjoy the baby shower. Um, Alana takes the little shoes off the cake. She goes, here, Pumpkin, here's my little shoes. And Pumpkin says, oh, Alana's first steppers. I ain't never heard anybody call them steppers, but I thought that was really cute. From now on, I'm calling little baby shoes steppers. Yes, indeed. So they have cake. They have a great time. Enjoy the little baby shower. The next morning, Pumpkin comes out of the bathroom and she tells Josh, she says, I was just in the bathroom checking my email and I got an email from our lawyer that we have court at 9:30 Monday morning. And he's like, for what? And she goes, well, I assume it's for the legal, for the custody situation. I'll probably just, the judge would just sign up on the paper. It shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be anything. We should just go, the judge sign off on it, and that be it. And she tells Josh, she says, I'm wondering if we should bring Alana along with us since her affidavit is in there and she's the one that the judge may want to ask. Like, is this your decision or is this somebody else's decision? So Josh is like, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea for her to go. If you think she should go, then yeah, let's bring her along with us. So they decide that she's going to go. Now, Pumpkin did go downstairs and talk to Alana. That's a really funny picture for me to land on. But Pumpkin did go downstairs and talk to Alana and ask her if she wanted to go. And she seemed very well with going. She was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Not a big deal. So they agree that she's going to go. Now, flip over to Mama June. And Mama June and Justin, they are on their way to LA because Justin's going to get his teeth, and June is going to meet with her doctor to see if she can have her gastric sleeve surgery again. So they get to LA, and June gets in with the doctor, and the doctor essentially tells June that she is not a good candidate for the revision surgery because she has an addiction to food, essentially, from the way that it sounded to me. So they had to go in and look at her stomach before they would even consider the surgery. Yes, Z, she sure did. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. So, basically, she goes in there to speak with the doctor, and the doctor tells her, look, we looked at your stomach, and from what we know, you're just not a good candidate. He says the revision surgery is very dangerous. He says, I don't think you're a good candidate right now. And he tells her that she needs to figure out like her how to cope with food, that she needs to get with a therapist. She needs to figure out how to eat healthier, get with a therapist, and find out what her problem is with food and find out how to cope with food. That as long as she eats the way that she does, no amount of surgery is going to keep her thin. She's just going to keep on putting on the weight. So right now, she cannot have the surgery, which obviously was something she did not want to hear, right? Now, back in Georgia, Alana and Draylon, they are watching a movie. Jessica is on the other recliner. But this is the morning that Pumpkin and Josh, they have an appointment with the OBGYN for Pumpkin to have her first ultrasound. So, Pumpkin and Josh decide that it would be a good idea if they let Draylon and Alana babysit. And they said the reason for this is to teach them responsibility and because Ella is a good spy. I have my idea that by saying teach them responsibility, it's like if we leave our kids with them enough, maybe that'll be a good birth control for them. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter used to always say that. Like I have a daughter that's 17, and she used to always say like, being with your kids makes me not want to have kids. You know what I'm saying? My kids are a little wild, but you know, you would look cute with side bangs. Thank you. Sean has told me that before too, that I should do bangs, but I don't know. I'm kind of weird about bangs. I feel like they probably, I don't know, maybe one day. But yeah, he says we're gonna leave the kids with y'all, and then in a confessional, he's like, we're gonna leave the kids with them because I feel like Ella is a good spy. If they do anything, she'll tell, and it'll, you know, give them some responsibility. Now, on the ride home, this is after their appointment, after they gotten the ultrasound done, and they know that there's two in there. On the way home, it just shows them coming home very like confused, somber, like, how did this happen? What are we gonna do? Josh even says, is this for real right now? Like, did we really just find out what they told us? And Pumpkin's like, don't talk to me, Joshua. So funny because, I mean, she blames Joshua, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just joking with what she's saying, but now Josh does have twins on his side. So she told him, she said, what if it's twins? She did tell him when they found out she was pregnant. She was like, what if it's twins? And they were like, nah, but he has twins on his side. And lo and behold, they got pregnant with twins. So on the way home, they're just like, she's like, what are we going to do? And he's like, what we do with all of them, we're going to raise them. We're going to take care of them. And then they're like, we got to go in there and tell everybody. So they walk in. This is always Josh's face when like something crazy is about to go down. He's got this like, so they walk in and they're like, glad you're back. Your kids are crazy. They've been bad, you know? And Pumpkin's like, they've been bad? And they're like, yes. And she goes, Alana goes, so how did your appointment go? And she goes, it went good. And she said, did you find out what you're having? And she goes, no, we didn't. And Josh is like, no, we didn't find out what we were going to have. And she goes, but we did find out something else. And they're all like, what? What? So she takes the paper out of her little pocket. And she goes, we're having two. Let me get to that. We're having two of them. Ah, hold on, you guys. Got to get me a Red Bull. It's early. Hope they get their own show. I know. I hope they do too. Yes, I think Gina set it up because she knew if it came from her, June won't listen to her. I think Gina knew. Yes, and I think so as well. I think Gina probably knew the doctor was going to say no. But if Gina would have just said, you're not a good candidate, you're not going to be able to have it again, June would have acted like she was lying or something. So to bring her to the doctor, for the doctor to say it herself, um, is probably the best thing she could have done. If that's the way that it went, I think that's why June left Gina, because they wouldn't do the surgery again. That could be why. They are not identical. It's a boy and a girl. But at this point, they didn't know. They didn't know that it was a boy and a girl. Keep in mind, you guys, a lot of people get confused with this because they're like, what, twins? I thought they just had twins. This is when they found out they were pregnant with the twins they just had. This show is filmed months ago, almost a year ago. So she's like, we're having two of them. And Jessica's like, two of them? Look, Bentley's even shocked. He's like, huh? What'd you say? Billy's like, did you just say two of them? Oh, heck no. I'm losing my throne. Y'all, I have kids kind of like back to back. Like, with my son Dakota, he was not even a year old when I got pregnant with the baby that I lost. And that was a lot going on. And then I got pregnant with Kennedy. So Dakota is like the one of my children that I feel like didn't get his throne. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't the baby long enough because he kind of got booted out. I mean, not really. I mean, we love him, and I think I show him more attention because I feel like he lost his throne way too early. But look at Bentley. He's like, "What'd you say?" Jessica's like, two of them. So everybody's really shocked. Jessica gets the photo because Jessica thinks they're joking. She's like, you guys are joking. That's a Photoshop. Ultrasound, surely not. So Alana gets in and is like, nope, it's not. It's not Photoshop. This is the real deal. It even says on their twins. So Jessica gets it, shows it to Bentley, and Bentley's like, let me see that thing. I can't read. What's it say? um, so Alana's like, I am happy. I'm a little bit shocked. I want two girls because I just love painting their nails. I love doing their hair. So I would prefer two girls. But she does say, if it's two boys or a boy and a girl, either way, she's going to be happy. Now, back with Junebug. Junebug, she's recording herself a lot. I don't know why. I guess maybe production didn't want to fly around the world with them everywhere they were going. But it's the morning before Justin's going to get his teeth. And so they're doing like a little recording where she says, we're about to go and Justin's going to get his teeth. And I'm so glad we could do this. And she explains that Justin has not had like a smile since kindergarten. And Justin says that he had a health condition. And maybe that's possible, it could be. Justin said, I had a health condition. I have a health condition. And even as early on as like kindergarten, I had bad teeth. So when I went to prison, they told me they would pull them all for me, and I just say go ahead. So he let them pull all his teeth out, and since then he hasn't had any teeth. And I can't even imagine what that does to someone's self-esteem to have no teeth. Like I really, really can't. I just can't. To have a good smile it is a lot. It means a lot to people. That sometimes a person's teeth is the first thing that people will notice, so someone refers to Justin as Gummy Bear. I did see that. So anyways, they're doing this little recording talking about him getting his teeth. They go to the dentist. Now, what we see of them at the dentist is not their first day at the dentist. So, like the day before, he went and he got like the impressions and everything and the molding of his mouth so they would know how to make his teeth. You know what I'm saying? Is Sherry in here? Okay, I need to, I'm going to do that and just let me see if I can do it from over here. I can't do it from over here. Okay, let me see if I can do it from here. Now, give me 2 seconds. Okay. So anyways, he's at the dentist and he gets his teeth, and you can tell when he gets his teeth, he doesn't know what to feel. I feel like the way he's looking in the mirror, the way he's looking at June, but look at him. I don't know. I just feel like he still felt weird about it. And maybe it's because he was so long without teeth, to see him with teeth, he still didn't know how to feel. And when he first got the teeth, he couldn't really talk that well. He had a really bad lisp. But this is his before and after. Let me move my face off the screen. Let me see if I can adjust that some. This is his before and after. You didn't? Yeah, his face was like, what? What'd you say? But the before and after, he has really nice teeth after he gets, June went from Sugar Bear to Gummy Bear. Sugar Bear 2.0. He looks younger. Absolutely. He looks younger. He looks better. I'm sure that helped his self-esteem. So I'm happy for him. I really am. I mean, I don't know the guy, and he may not be a great guy. I don't know. I don't know if he is or not, you guys. He might be the meanest guy in the world. But to see these pictures and just to imagine that he probably dealt with self-esteem issues his whole life. I don't know. There's just a part of me that's like, I'm glad this was able to happen. I know though, Kimberly Ann, like she will help a guy to get teeth, but don't want to pay child support. And granted, she didn't pay for these teeth, but she went out of her way. They had to fly to LA. It did cost. They had to fly to LA, stay in a hotel. Was everything free for them to get there to get those teeth? Probably not. All right, so he got his teeth, and she was whispering something dirty to him right here. Let me see. I need to figure out how to read lips. I'm going to go back and watch this because she was whispering something in his ear. And then afterwards, he says, if y'all only knew what she was saying to me. And I have a feeling it was something dirty. June. Don't be talking dirty like that. I can't. Ugh. Anyways. They have court. You guys know they have court. We went over the thing where they had the teeth are too white. Yeah, some people go for the white. Coming from someone who only has top teeth, I completely understand. It definitely makes you leave your. Oh, I'm so sorry. I would have to imagine. I would really have to imagine. So my heart goes out to anybody that has to deal with issues of their teeth. So anyways, it is Monday morning and they are off to court. It's Josh, Pumpkin, and Alana. Things do not go the way they thought. So they go to court, and essentially, let me see if I can back it up to that one picture. Hold on. Okay, so there they are in court. And essentially, a judge told them that they have to get Sugar Bear to sign off on this. Which I actually thought that in the first documents the Sugar Bear signed that I guess those are void because they expired or something. But I thought they didn't need Sugar Bear's permission for whatever reason. But they do. So the judge told them, like, this is all well and fine, but you need her father's permission. He has to sign off on this as well. So when they leave court, they're a little defeated, Josh is outright mad. Because he's like, we've been taking care of Alana for 3 years now. Sugar Bear does nothing. He's less than June because he's never around. Like, June pops in and out, but Sugar Bear, she hasn't seen Sugar Bear. So he's very irritated. Josh is very mad. Now, after they talk about it, and they're like, well, Josh, Pumpkin says, well, Josh, you're going to need to talk to Sugar Bear. And a lot of people don't know this. And I don't know why they don't talk about this in the show. But she's like, Josh, you talk to Sugar Bear. And he's like, all right, I'll talk to Sugar Bear. And in the show, he says, I have somewhat of a relationship with Sugar Bear because I did work with him for a while. And he kind of leaves it at that. Thank you so much, Heather. Get up, go up. Thank you. Thank you. But anyways, he kind of leaves it at that, is that they have a close relationship because they work together. But you guys, they're related. Sugar Bear and Justin are related. Not Justin, Josh. Sugar Bear and Josh are related. And I have a feeling that's why Pumpkin told Josh that he would have to handle Sugar Bear. I mean, she lived with Sugar Bear for years. Sugar Bear was her stepdad, right? Versus her husband working with Sugar Bear or her ex-stepdad. Like, who, you know what I'm saying? But the reason why is it's left up to Josh is because Josh is related to Sugar Bear. You didn't get the notification, Nappy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, First, they didn't get Sugar Bear to sign. Second, June didn't know what the contract even was. That on camera was invalid. Yeah, I think that's what they said when they meet with the lawyer later. She was like, "What happened on camera is not valid. Like the judge has to see the note, y'all sign it, the notary sign it, whatever, something along those lines." But anyways, so yeah, I didn't know they were related either until I talked to someone close to Sugar Bear. I talked to someone very close to Sugar Bear and he told me, yeah, Sugar Bear and Josh are literally related. And I was like, oh, wow. I can't talk today. Wow. So, anyways, it's left up to Josh to contact Sugar Bear, to get Sugar Bear to sign the document. So he's like, okay. So he reaches out to Sugar Bear and he sets up a lunch for them to meet up so they can kind of talk about what's going on. Now, the thing is when he reaches out to Sugar Bear, he doesn't tell him why they're meeting up. He just asks, he reaches out, hey, can you meet for lunch? Yeah, they meet for lunch. In a confessional, he says that he don't want to hit him right off the bat with, hey, I need you to sign your daughter over to us again. So he says he's going to kind of ease into it. I think they're cousins. I think I was told that they're cousins. That's what I thought too. And I was told that that business that Josh was working with them with, that wasn't Sugar Bear's business either. That was a friend of Sugar Bear's, but the show kind of portrayed it as if it was Sugar Bear's. But that business wasn't Sugar Bear's, and Sugar Bear and Josh, yes, they're related. I think cousins. So, anyways, at the lunch, Josh asked him, "How you been doing, man?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been making it." Sugar Bear tells Josh, "Me and Jennifer split up," and Josh said, "Well, I thought I heard something about it, but I wasn't too sure. But I hate to hear that either way. I'm sorry, man." And he's like, "Yeah, it is what it is." Hey, Brittany, I can see your comments. That's the first one that I see though, but I'm not seeing all the comments because they're going kind of fast. But Josh says, I hate to hear that, man. I hate that it didn't work out for you guys. And then Sugar Bear asks, how's Alana doing? How's she doing in school? And Josh says, oh, she's doing great in school. She's got really good grades. She's going to be going off to college soon. And then he says, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you. Yeah, he says that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you. He says, it's to the point where we need to redo the paperwork again. And he says, I have the paperwork with me, but essentially we've been taking care of Alana for 3 years, and we need you to sign over custody to us, like more permanently, so we can deal with college, so we can deal with, insurance for her, like medical insurance and all of that. Because right now, the way that it was, you guys, if Alana got sick and needed to go to the hospital, I don't think they would be able to take her. I think June or Sugar Bear would have to take her, from my understanding. Or, if she was with friends and got in a wreck and was in the hospital and they went to go find out what was wrong, they would be like, no, we need her parent. Like, we can't give you information. We need to tell her parent what's going on. Oh, Destiny, you've been a member for 3 months. Destiny, you're a member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Why is no one saying anything about Sugar Bear paying child support? I wonder that as well. I am confused on that, to be honest. I'm very confused on that. But Sugar Bear tells Josh, he says, I feel like Alana is all that I have left. And I was hoping that we would get to the point to where we could hang out again, where I could come pick her up, we could go out to dinner and things like that. And he says, I just feel like it'll never get back to that point. And that worries me. And Josh says, listen, I'm not coming at you with a dagger. This is just a legality. Like, this is just paperwork. But it doesn't take away the fact that you are her blood father. It doesn't take away any feelings that you have for Alana. It doesn't mean that you don't love her. Actually, what it means is you want to do what's right by her, and you want to do what would be best for her by giving us custody legally. you know, and he says this is going to be hard for me to sign over my rights to her. He looks at the documents. That's Josh just kind of breaking it down to him, like what, you know, what this is about. And he basically, I'm going to try to get to the part where he is kind of sad. Oh, this is the news of their split. But he does agree to do it. He agrees that he'll do it. That's where he says eventually get back to where she. Let me move myself. Hold on. Eventually get back to where she'd come see me and we can hang out, is what he said. But he does get sad over it. But eventually he does sign the paperwork, and Josh tells him thank you. And he tells Josh, he says, I appreciate what y'all have done for Alana. And he says, I appreciate y'all taking care of her because I haven't. And I don't know if it's because he can't or if it's because, you know, Alana don't want to be there with him. There was a point to where him and Jennifer, you know, tried to, oh, there it is. There was a point where him and Jennifer tried to get Alana to move in with him and her, and she didn't want to. You know, rightfully so. Jennifer was not the nicest person to Alana or towards Pumpkin or her mom, so I would get it. I don't think Sugar Bear pays child support. No. It is just, hey, Angela, it is just paperwork at the end of the day. But Sugar Bear was a little emotional about it, and which I have to give him. I applaud him for having some sort of emotion about it because June didn't. June was like, sure. What else you need me to sign? You know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, adoption? Yeah, I can do that. As long as I have to pay child support. Hey, Cassandra. Long time no see. I know. At least he showed emotion. So, yeah, I did feel a little bad for him. Now, 2 days after Junebug returns from LA, her and Pumpkin go meet with Pumpkin's new lawyer. For some reason, Pumpkin got a new lawyer. This is the lawyer's office. And Pumpkin and June rode there together. Oh, sorry, Pumpkin. This is the new attorney. So they rode together, and June asked Pumpkin, like, what's the deal with your new lawyer? Like, what are we doing here? And Pumpkin says, well, basically, we just got to go over the paperwork again. Like, the judge wanted it to be done a certain way. What we signed in Vegas is kind of null and void because, like, it's got to be done in a more proper way, I guess. So they get in there, and this fine young lady right here introduces herself, and she tells June, you know, what the deal is. She starts going over the paperwork, like each page. She's like, this is where it says XYZ that Alana, this is Alana, her statement where she says she would rather, you know, that she would want to stay in the custody of her sister and Josh. This is her statement saying that. This is a statement saying that she's going to live with them. This is a statement saying they have legal rights, blah, 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 blah. And then she flips over to another page where it says, and this is the child support paperwork stating that you will pay child support. And June's like, hold up, child support? She's like, ain't nobody said nothing to me about child support. And Pumpkin's just like, clearly you can see Pumpkin. She's like, and the lady's like, well, yes, ma'am. Like, when it comes to custody cases, the parents have to pay child support. Like, that's just what it is. Whoever raises that child, obviously, it's going to cost them money. So the other parent is supposed to pay child support. Now, I don't understand why they're not holding Sugar Bear to the same standard. Last I heard, he was, in fact, working. So I don't understand. But, oh, sorry guys, hold on. Basically what they, let me get this back to me over here while this plays. basically what the lawyer tells June is, listen, legally it was agreed by everyone, you know, it is a legal obligation and it's a moral obligation that you take care of your children. If your children don't live with you, you help with their expenses. Children are not cheap. I got 6 of them. They're not cheap, you guys. Oh my God, every day. You know, they're very expensive little boogers. School is starting back up. Let me tell you guys, uniforms, school supplies. Then you got, when they start school, they want them to wear us. Where my kids go to school, they are only allowed to wear a certain type of jacket or hoodie, and it has to be a school jacket or hoodie. So you have to buy it from the school, and they're 25 bucks a piece. And then if you have, you know, with me, I've had 4 kids in school. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just their jackets. And then your uniforms, your school supplies. I mean, each kid's school supplies is like 60, 70 bucks almost. It's ridiculous. Kids are expensive. Sugar Bear makes $300K. Does he? Off what? What does Sugar Bear make that much money for? Because he don't get paid on the show like they do. He was only on it one time this season. So I know he ain't making that kind of money off the show. And I could actually probably find out about what he makes because, never mind. But what Sugar Bear, the job that he had before, he was traveling, delivering these custom-made dollies. And I don't know if he was making that much, but that was a job that he started after him and Jennifer got a divorce. Him and Jennifer separated. He moved in with some friends. The friend that he moved in with owned the business, this dolly business. And I don't think he was making $300K, and I know he's not making that off the show because nobody made that much off the show except June. June was like the only one that made that much off the show. But either way, he should pay child support, right? So anyways, she's explaining, like, listen, it is a legal responsibility and it's a moral obligation. Like, you pay for your child, you know? And she reads it out. She says, according to your income, she says, you make $350,000 a year. I think it was either $300,000 or $350,000. She said, which comes out to $25,000 a month. I think you mean Mama June, Marga, because they didn't talk about Sugar Bear's. I haven't seen them say anything about Sugar Bear's income, but they did say that Mama June, she either makes $300,000 or $350,000 a year. She said it comes out to $25K a month. So, we're asking that you pay $2,000 a month child support. She goes, what? $2,000 a month child support? I can't do that. I can't do that. And Pumpkin's just like flabbergasted. Because we know the money that she spends on men. Oh, Cassandra's been a member for 25 months. Whoa, Cassandra, you've been with me for a long time. That's over 2 years. What? Miss y'all. See you in the next one. See you later, Cassandra. I'm going to do a members live. Y'all, my kids got football like every evening this week, so I got to figure it out. But I'm going to do a member stream sometime this week. It may be during the day. It may be in the evening. I don't know, but I got to because I got a lot of stuff I want to share with you guys. But anyways, essentially, she says, listen, you make like $25,000 a month. $2,000 a month is not asking a lot. Let me tell you guys, I know men where I live that pay close to that for one child. I know a guy that pays like $1,600 a month for one child. And when I took my older kid's dad to court, we were just going for our daughter, not our daughter and our son. And they were going to make him pay $700 a month. Lisa Sims been a member for 26 months. It's telling me all this. It usually don't tell me this. Thank you guys so much. I'm like furniture. So Mama June just is like, no. She was like, why do I have to pay child support if I'm signing my rights over? She was like, I thought if I sign my rights over, I don't have to pay child support. Let me back this up a little bit. And the woman says, you're just signing your legal responsibility over to them. You're not 100% signing everything away. Like, they're not adopting her. That's what she says. She says, they're not adopting her. And she goes, that's what I thought we were doing. And Pumpkin's like, what? You thought we were adopting her? And Pumpkin says, I could do you dirty, but I'm not. Like, if you really want me to do you dirty, I could, but no. Like, I'm just trying to make it to where Alana always feels safe. She always knows that she has family, and we can take care of her in every aspect. Because without them being her like legal guardian, there are things they can't do. And to get those things done, they would have to call June. And who knows if she would answer? Who knows where she would be? You know what I'm saying? So they're like, this is the best thing for us to do. But if you really, she's like, but if you really want me to play dirty, I can. Like, I can adopt her. And June's like, well, that's what I thought we were doing. I thought like you was adopting her. So she's like, no, that's not what we're doing. And the lawyer's like, listen. Well, actually, Pumpkin said, Mama, you realize if I take you to court with your income, they're probably going to make you pay more than that? And she was like, I don't care. No, I can't do that. I can't pay no $2,000 a month child support. And then the lawyer says, well, I'm sure Lauren, she says, I'm sure Lauren, Pumpkin, will be willing to budge on you with that. Right, Lauren? And Lauren says, yeah. Yeah, like I'm not, you don't have to pay $2,000. Like I would be willing to go down. And then the lawyer asked June, she says, how much are you willing to pay? Is there a number that you're willing to put on that? Maybe a couple of $100 that you are saying that you would be willing to pay. Is there a number that you'll put out there? And June says no. She wouldn't even throw out a number. She could have said anything. She could have said, what about 500? But she wouldn't even put out a number for what she would be willing to pay in child support. She straight up said, no. No. I'm not putting a number out there because I don't want to pay anything. So the lawyer Pumpkin was obviously heated because she was like, I cannot believe this crap. She was like, so you mean to tell me you would rather us adopt Alana than you pay a little bit of child support? Like, kids are expensive. June knows that kids are expensive. What irritates me even more is when June was with Jordan McCullum, I spoke to Jordan McCullum privately and on stream, and you know how there was reports that she spent like $50K on him? No, it was more than that. She took him on a trip to Vegas that was all expenses paid. Anytime he needed gas, she would cash app him money. She got him that car. She got him a house, furniture full of furniture. She come home one day and got him a chain and a watch. I think he said few $1,000s. Each one of them was a few $1,000s. I think he said in total it was like $14,000 for the necklace and the watch. 14K. He didn't even ask for it, he said. He said she just came home and had it. He said when they went to Vegas, she was just showering him. He was gambling, and she was just giving him money, giving him money. They stayed in the finest hotel. They rode in a limo to Vegas. I mean, he said his clothes. She bought his clothes. I mean, look at Justin's clothes. Who do you think's buying them clothes? More than likely June. She spent $150 on dessert when they went to Vegas. Her and the girls. Just dessert. Y'all, I wonder what their tab was at the restaurant they ate at. So why is she willing to do all of that, but she can't pay child support? Like, that is ridiculous. But anyways, they left that lawyer's office without making any sort of an agreement. Pumpkin was heated. And I don't blame her. Hold on, if you guys want to watch this past week's episode for free, I do have a link in the description box below. You can find it on YouTube, and that's where I find it, you guys. I don't know these channels. I just go to YouTube and search Mama June Road to Redemption full episode, and I always find it. So the one that I have linked in the description box below is the one that I watched this week, so that's where you can watch it. But Pumpkin was so mad. Hold on, let's see. What she's saying.
Well, that's not what we were signing, is that her for money, or she goes and buys piddly nonsense for Alana, like get her nails done or take her out to dinner. Other than that, for the last 4 years, me and Josh have had to deal with the financial burden of taking care of Alana. Well, that's not what we were signing, is that rights were being. No, I'm getting sole custody of Alana.
If you signed over your rights, that would mean that the Pumpkin would be adopting her.
Right, that's what I thought this was.
Okay, well now.
No, bitch, plans to do it. No, I didn't.
She's not happy. Nobody left the situation happy. And what's crazy is that they rode there together. June and Pumpkin rode there together. But after what went down in the lawyer's office, Pumpkin was like, girl, you better find your own way home. She said, you better call an Uber to come get you because you are not riding with me. So Mama June was like, well, let me go get my stuff out of your car. And she's like, yeah, you better. Pumpkin wouldn't even let her ride back with her, which I can't say that I blame her because I wouldn't either. Look how upset. Like, she's so sad for Alana, knowing that June would rather give her up for adoption than June would rather give her up for adoption than pay a little bit of child support. And the thing is Pumpkin and Josh, they're both still young. She's pregnant with twins. She's got 2 kids of her own. You can't help out a little bit. She could have at least said, listen, I know y'all got y'all's own kids. Y'all don't make near the money on the show that I make. So yes, I will pay child support. I'll pay $500. She could have said anything to make it look like she was willing to. But the only thing that June is fine throwing money at is the men in her life, which was BS. Yeah, I'm glad that Pumpkin was like, girl, you ain't riding back with me. I wouldn't have either. June made the ridiculous comment when they left. I don't care if you're a millionaire. That's a lot of money to call for. Yes, she did. She said, I don't care if you're a millionaire. That's a lot of money to come off of. It's for your kid, and she's going to be going to college soon. If she's not getting some sort of scholarship, they're going to have to pay for her room, board, her books, and everything. No, Envy. No, they didn't ask for $25K a month. That's what they said June makes a month. So when they sat down with the lawyer said, listen, your income per year, she either said $300,000 to $350,000. So June makes a big chunk of change. And she said if you break that down monthly, that comes out to $25,000 a month. Now, June did misunderstand that at first. And she says, what? I can't afford to pay $25K a month in child support. And they were like, no. That's not what we're asking. We're not asking you to pay $25,000 a month child support. I don't even think Britney Spears pays that in child support. They said that was what they were saying she makes, and that's why they were asking for $2,000 a month. They didn't say that she made that. They wasn't asking her for $25K a month in child support. They were saying she makes that, and she should be able to pay $2,000 a month child support. I don't get it either. Yeah. I wish I made $300,000 a year. I'd be more than happy. Which all my kids live with me, but so anyway, she's like, woman, you better find your own way home because you are not riding home with me. And what happened though, a month later, June, let me tell you guys, June said, I will hire my own attorney and we'll figure this out. So June had to go probably drop $10K on an attorney just to save her. That would have been a few months child support right there. That would have been 4.5 months child support. Well, no, that would have been wait. What would it have been? I forgot what I said. If it was $10K, that would have been like 5 months child support. I know when I hired my lawyer, because my ex was going to take me to court for full custody of our daughter, I think I know it was $5,000. Right then that day, I had to drop $5,000 for his retainer. And then a few days later, I had to go and he had to file paperwork for me, and it was like $300 for the first thing that he filed. We ended up spending like $7,000 in the first month that we had him as a lawyer. So she went and hired a lawyer to get out of paying child support. And then what Pumpkin said on a TikTok, Pumpkin said that June's lawyer went at the judge this way. Like, yes, she's on a TV show, but she's not in contract right now. We don't know if she'll get picked back up to do the show anymore. And if she don't get picked back up to do the show anymore, then she's not going to have this income. So therefore, that income doesn't need to be in the equation when it comes to her child support, because we don't know if she's going to be on the show anymore. So the judge was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. If she's not in a contract, then those earnings aren't guaranteed. So they based the child support off her disability. And essentially they told her she had to pay $800 a month child support, because they wouldn't base it off what she makes on the show. Now, Oh, look at that. Hold on. Let me move my little picture. Let me move me. And we will just look at that cute little family. Spending money on a new attorney, but not your own daughter. I know, right? She's willing to drop all that money on a lawyer without hesitation, but not willing to give her daughter more than a few $100s. So why not just adjust it off her income check? That's what I was saying. What they could have done is whatever she's making, use that for now. Then when it changes, she can file to have it changed. What was that? Priscilla Jordan has subscribed, not prescribed. My son spent over $25K just to get 50-50. Exactly. So it's this whole episode ticked me off. And now from what we're hearing, what's being said is that they are in the talks for their own show. You know, I have to wonder, is this June's karma? Is this June's karma for not allowing them to put her earnings from the show, take that into account when figuring out her child support? Is this her karma that now you won't be on the show. You didn't want to use your earnings to help pay child support for your daughter, so now you're not going to be on the show. I do have to wonder if this was just her karma coming back to bite her in the butt. You know what I'm saying? So I have been a Mama June supporter, try to be a Mama June supporter for a long time. But the past this season, everything that's went down, it's just impossible. Like, I just have so many things. Being a mother and seeing the way she's done Alana, sending her off in a Uber by herself, 2 hours away. No, there's so many things that she's done that I just can't, don't work well with me. You know what I'm saying? And I do know that some of this is reality television. Not all of it is real. I get it. Pumpkin's Patch on WeTv. Let's go. I know, right? June is on disability for what? Yes, Debbie. Yes. Now, from my understanding, if you only qualify for like assistance like that, like if you make an income like June does, wouldn't you not qualify for disability? Right? But I don't know. Either way, June draws disability monthly. And then whenever she's working on the show, she makes about $25K a month between the show and her endorsement deals. So yeah, June draws in a pretty penny. So now she has to pay $800 a month. And Pumpkin said on a TikTok a few weeks back that the very first payment that June made to her, she complained about it. That she griped about it. What? Why not help? I mean, Alana is a young girl. Like, I feel like girls are probably more expensive than guys, at least in my house. Because girls, they want to get their hair done. They want good makeup. They want good clothes. Some girls like to have their nails done. So I just feel like they're a little bit more expensive than guys. And June could help. June could help with that. Do you think Justin is keeping June in line or just along for the ride? I want to see the good in Justin, like I really do. But I think he may just be there for the ride. With what Jordan told me that the last time he saw Justin made a comment to him about like being over June or something. Like, oh, I just can't take this no more, whatever. And Jordan's saying, like, I know it's a lot, right? And Jordan's like, Justin's saying she never shuts up. Like, so I don't know. I'm legally blind and only get less than $700 a month disability. June gets like $1,200 a month. I think that's what they said. Either $1,200 or $2,100. I don't remember, but it was something like that. June doesn't want custody of Alana. She wants Pumpkin and Josh to raise and support her with no child support. Pumpkin and Josh should have adopted Alana. Right? Yeah. June is legally blind. She is legally blind, so... But anyways, you guys, I thought this episode was just... There were a lot of good things in it because seeing how happy Alana was when Pumpkin comes home. And she's like, it's a girl, and she says it's a babe shower because I'm a babe. And just how appreciative she is to have Pumpkin. And then to see how well Pumpkin and Josh do with their little family, it's so cute to see. And then them finding out they're having twins, and they're like, oh my goodness. I really enjoy watching them. But then when you see what goes on, you know, them having to ask Sugar Bear to sign rights over, having my feels a little bit, but I don't know why Sugar Bear is not being made to pay child support. I have no idea. This was the last episode for the season, from my understanding. She only has, what, a year left of paying child support? Exactly. So under 10 grand. Exactly. She started in May. And then Alana will turn 17 next month. So May, June, July, August. 4. So 16 months. She has 16 months to pay child support. Let me see how much that is. 800 times 16. That's $12,800, which is probably what their ticket was when they went to Las Vegas. Between the dinner, the dressing up, the yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? She probably spent more than that then. She could have paid that all in one lump sum. I know. I miss the old June who wouldn't take her sock off and show her foot. I know. I miss the old June who wouldn't take her sock off and show her foot. Me too. Me too. We all have to work. I get it, but some can't. But a lot just cry wolf. Exactly. I love the baby's red hair. I know. Me too. Love the baby's red hair. Mama's coming home. I know. I loved when she said that. But anyways, you guys, that is the recap. She draws a check off of Alana for disability also. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. They have been in the talks with getting their own show. Now, they're playing coy about this. Like, someone said that Pumpkin was asked about it on a TikTok, and they were like, Pumpkin, we heard y'all were getting your own show. And she's like, what? I wished. But from my understanding, they are in the talks about it. But I think they're just having to keep it under wraps. So they're going to act like they don't know what we're talking about. I feel like in a few months we'll be hearing more about that if it's going to happen. But either way, I feel like this could be June's karma. June didn't want to base her real income into, you know, the consideration for child support. So somebody's like, okay, we'll just take that away from you completely. Live life on your disability and pay your $800 a month child support and don't have that job anymore. Can Do, I just found you recently. Live your cat. Thank you so much, Can Do. Thank you. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out because I got a lot. I got to pack in today. The kids have, so I have a son. One of my boys has football Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday. And then I have 2 that have football Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I try to be where I can go with them to their practices. So maybe after practice when I come back, we'll do a member stream because I really want to do a member stream. I got so much I want to say in a member stream. Stuff I just can't put out there on my channel because I don't want to bog my channel down with negativity and talking about stuff that people probably won't like. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me while my dad had to pay until the day my brother. Well, the way that it is you pay until the child turns 18 or until they finish school. So if she goes on to college, she could potentially have to pay however long Alana is in college. So yeah, I think that's the way that works in Louisiana anyways. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Give this video a huge thumbs up. I'm going to be coming back here in a little bit, you guys, because I got a lot more content we're going to cover today. Football finishes at about 8:30. So it starts at 6:30 and finishes about 8:30. But you guys go check me out on social media as well, because I usually, it doesn't cost a lot to become a member. You can become a channel member or a Patreon member, and I mean, like $3.99, I think. But you can follow me on Instagram. I have a Facebook account, and I have a Twitter account, and I usually post on all of those accounts before I go live. So you can follow me there. Make sure your notification is set on. Follow me here. Make sure your bell is rang and the notifications are set to all so you are notified of each time I go live or upload a new video. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.